Hello, hello, everyone. How are we feeling tonight? See a few new faces in here. Glad to have you guys with us. Discord grew tremendously these past 2 days, so I think we're going to see a lot of people once they start figuring out how we do it here in Rise. Hopefully, everybody doing well. It's awesome. I'm doing great myself. A little bit tired after these last 2 days. Been a little bit of a grind, you guys know. But we out here for another weekly outlook, right? So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Last week, we went over what we wanted price to see, and we finally got our reversal we were looking for. We are moving higher, and it's no surprise to anyone if I say that currently the target is this sell buy side. I was going to say sell side liquidity. That would have been funny. This buy side above, that is what we were anticipating. As we said, we wanted to see the inversion of this gap to continue towards buy side, and look at the beautiful price action on Wednesday, trading back into it, expanding higher. If we prop it up on ES very quickly, we had the same thing, except we did not trade into it. We were a little bit slower to get to the upside, which was not to be expected, honestly, right? We had SMT telling us NASDAQ was stronger, but at these key areas where you see reversals in price, you often see a change in long-term trend. So NASDAQ being the weaker asset now was the stronger asset. We'll have to see in the coming week, right, how we interact. But definitely, we're going to be looking at this liquidity. And I also have my eye on the liquidity above to be a potential objective for early week, right? Just talking about early during the week. Let me remove the text so it's a little easier to see for our eyes, at least for mine. I don't know about you guys. But I'm looking for upside move. Now, whenever you see these, this is something we don't see very often on the daily chart. So I'm going to comment on it since we have it in front of us now. But whenever you have a swing formed inside of a fair value gap, right? And I'm talking purely higher time frame, you'll see that these areas are oftentimes where price likes to sweep this before forming a retracement. So I'm not anticipating us to go all the way above and invalidate this gap right away. I'm anticipating us to go take that gap, then retrace potentially lower to our fair value gaps below before continuing to the upside. This is my intermediate term analysis. I'm, of course, looking for a continuation to the upside, but taking into account the news from this week, which I am going to prop on the chart very quickly. If I can find it, there we go. A nice, beautiful picture for you guys. With the news this week being later in the week, I could anticipate some sort of sweep of this liquidity early today. So this Monday, which currently it is Sunday for me. I don't know about you guys, but see an early sweep into a retracement that could then follow on to be an upside move this week or coming into the next week. You got to take into account the current seasonal tendencies. Usually in August, you don't see volatility like we have, so you have to be careful, right? So at any point in time right now, this month, I am half risk. I am taking it easy because we have crazy moves that justify the fact that I can go half risk and still make a bunch of return, right? So I'm taking it easy. I am going back over all this stuff, even though we've talked about it in the last few weeks, because we have so many new people. So I'd like to speak on this. But as for myself, I have 2 trading days this week, which are Thursday and Friday. These are my high probability trading days. But even with Friday being the symposium, it's going to be very volatile, right? We've seen the VIX, the volatility these past few weeks, past 3 weeks have been crazy, and it's going to keep going because we have the news and the current world events, I guess, the current world conditions aligning for that. And you got to remember US elections, right? There's a lot of buzz, there's a lot of things coming up every single day. So you have to be ready for this. But just in general, I tend to see these swing points form retracements instead of just going for a straight up invalidation. So that's what I'm going to be looking for early in the week. But since I'm not trading before Thursday for myself, right, with the conservative approach within my model, then I'm not going to care what it does first. If I see price going up, and then I see that we retrace into, more specifically, our most recent gap, I think that we are very bullish. I doubt we have to retrace further than this specific fair value gap. I don't see us, if you want me to prop it up for a second here, I don't see us returning to a discount of this leg. If not, that would be extremely bearish for me. If we sweep this high and then go lower, then that would be bearish for me because we've just had a huge push to the upside. We do not need to return to this balance area. So definitely retracement to its nearby fair value gap, yes, but I'm anticipating a continuation to the upside with of course final objectives being higher here. If I just remove the news very quickly, you'll see that this is quite far, but if we look at how many handles it is, it's 1,300 handles. I'll just show you the range from last week very quickly, and you'll see that it is very doable. Very, very doable with the amount of volatility we've seen. So I'm definitely going to be looking to the upside. Best case scenario, we induce this liquidity, retrace to the fair value gap, and start pushing up. And then our first news on Thursday will form a retracement lower to continue to the upside, giving us ample opportunity to long. Is there going to be a call Wednesday night due to news on Thursday? I am unsure if there will be a midweek analysis this week. Just for you new guys, whenever I don't have news early during the week, I tend to do a midweek analysis because the trading in the beginning of the week gives you a lot of insight into what's going to happen, taking news into context. But I don't believe this week we will see one. I'll have to check on the day of. So if there is one, I'll tag everyone in chat and say midweek analysis tonight. Make sure not to miss it. But for now, there's nothing planned. But yes, on that note specifically, we don't have any clear insights into price right now. Why? Because we are close to a clear objective, right? Buy side liquidity, we are right there. But how we interact with those levels will give us insight as to, do we want to see this week be a retracement, so a retracement lower in this case, or do we want to see this week be a continuation? Well, it will all depend on if are we going to sweep this high or expand through, and that will tell me with the Monday's close of the candle, right? If we close through it, I'm going to expect a continuation to the next level and then possibly a stop at this fair value gap to form a retracement and then continue. But the idea is buy side, and that's what we're looking for. Possible Wednesday reversal week, definitely. So we could see downside on early during the week. As I said, that's best case scenario, to give us a Wednesday reversal or possibly even see a consolidation reversal week. So seeing Monday form a range and then Tuesday, possibly going into Tuesday, and then seeing price consolidate for 2 days within that range to then have a raid on Thursday or late on Wednesday, and then see price move forward. But in moments like these, you're going to really look for how we interact there. And I'm also going to be looking down at the 4-hour time frame to gain some more insights into the current range we're trading within. So if we see us expand above this high, right? Like we said, I'm going to look at this future range that it's going to have created and look for a retracement in that range, see how we respect our internal range liquidity, our first discount fair value gap in a bullish case, and see if we can't expand higher off of this. Because I'm definitely thinking we're going to go tag this liquidity this week. The only question is, are we going to go there first, or are we going to go there second? And I did want to just prop up the weekly chart very quickly, because if you see this liquidity being taken and you anticipate, even if you're still bearish, all right? So I'm taking this into account, seeing all possible outcomes. Even if you're still bearish after this huge weekly candle flip, you're at least anticipating price to head back towards this fair value gap, more specifically this balanced price range, which is above. So until we hit those specific levels, I don't want to be considering any sort of retracements. I want to be considering a continued push to the upside, which would mean that Thursday and Friday could be the retracement. But as I said, once we get to that point, we'll have more insight after seeing what Mondays and Tuesdays trading will have done. So yeah, there might be a midweek analysis depending on what price does. Definitely, Justin, we'll see that. So no trading early week. Well, not for me, right? We have all sorts of traders in this Discord, some that trade every day, some that super scalp, and some that swing trade, right? For myself, I tend to concentrate on days that are high probability. And as I have explained, right, and you can find, by the way, for all the new people, inside of projects, if you go to projects, Rise trading model, you'll find my economic calendar thread. And I use these days, I use these high impact news events to frame days that will be volatile and that will be clear. And I know when to time myself. These are what I call high probability trading days. And these are the only days, sorry, not trades, days that I look for trades. So I'm trying to frame my whole model around high probability, and that will only happen on those specific days. Make sense? Do we have any questions? I know this was a little bit, oh, if we do this, we can do that. If we do this, we can do that. Well, this early in the week with no early in the week news, that's what we're looking for, right? If then statements. And only if we move forward in the week, right, after seeing Mondays and Tuesdays trading, then we can gain some clearer insight into which if then statement is more probable. All clear? I'm open to any questions. If you guys have any about any specific concepts or even about the Right Statistics app, if that was the reason why you came in this call, I'm open to answering anything. All right, no questions. Well, on that note, I wish you all a very great weekend. I hope that if you're going to be trading before Thursday, you share these results. I'm very excited to see all the new people in here. So, you guys have a good trading week. Good luck, and we'll see each other on Thursday for our price action review. See you guys.